Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. Meteorological spring starts today, which means meteorological winter ended February 28th, and so did the Arkansas Weather Blog Winter Contest for the Davis Weather Station. It's a fantastic weather station. I wish I had one. 24.7 inches right now, the preliminary total, and pending, and I'm going to stress this, pending verification of some odds and ends. We don't have a winner just yet. It's all pending verification. So we're waiting. So again, stay tuned if you guessed, if you're still in there. 24.7 was the amount. This person, I think, was 24.5 or 6. Anyway, it's Price is Right rules. So stay tuned for that one, pending verification. And there's some things that we have to sort through first. Now let's talk about the data for Wednesday, shall we? There's just signs of yet more wintry weather. I got an email at the station, somebody very upset with me because I like this winter weather, and people, it's hard for some people. I never want anybody to get hurt. I never want anybody to be harmed by it, and I am getting a little tired of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like a kid when it snows, but you know, you get to the point where like, okay, we've had enough of this. But there are some differences. Now, the NAM is the outlier here. And if you want to go even further, so is the UK Met model, but I rarely ever look at that. But the NAM, the North American model, it's in the long range of that model. It's a short-term model. It only goes out to 84 hours, so we're on the fringe of this. And usually when you get out that far, it's not so good. But there are some differences, which is why I'm not completely sold on this. But I do think that there's a better than 50-50 chance that we will have... I won't call it a winter storm. You can't call it a winter storm unless it's a winter storm. There are certain qualifications it has to meet for it to be called a winter storm. So we're yet to see that. A winter event? Okay. So you're looking at the... and INSEP is having some issues with their servers, so data is very slow coming in right now. But this is the morning run. I wish I could zoom this in, but weatherbell.com right now is what I'm using. But again, INSEP is having the National Center for Environmental Prediction, having some problems with their server. So you have to see Arkansas right in there. There's the frontal boundary. This is Tuesday. 50s, 60s for highs. Rain, a few thunderstorms. Severe threat, low. So that front, this is the difference. The GFS and even the European, this is the frontal boundary. You see, here's the low pressure and here's the frontal boundary. The GFS and the Euro both push the Arctic front basically through the entire state. The NAM holds it up and waits for the wave of low pressure to move, and it's much further north. So that's the outlier. We'll see how that trends in later model runs. But right now, the GFS and the Euro are on board with this. And you see the fronts towards the south. Here comes another wave of low pressure and overriding precipitation. You're looking at Wednesday morning. The timing of this is going to be after, again, it's Sunday and this is Wednesday, but after sunrise on Wednesday. We're talking about during later morning hours and into the afternoon, according to the data that I've been looking at this morning. And then you see what happens between 6 a.m. and noon. You're looking, whoa. You jumped ahead, Todd. Don't do that. Everybody wants to see this step-by-step, Todd. Snow north, freezing rain, sleet. It's an Arkansas slushy. And then the rain towards the south. Now, why are we getting 3 different types of precipitation? Remember, it all has to do with the depth of the sub-freezing air. The temperature is 32 degrees or colder. Where it's 32 degrees or colder all the way up through the cloud, you're talking about snow, and that's going to be the case according to this model across northern Arkansas. Where you have a warm layer aloft that's not all that significant, that's pretty far up off the ground, that's where you have the freezing rain, the sleet. But where you have the freezing rain, the layer of sub-freezing air is very shallow, and the warmer air aloft is more substantial, so you have freezing rain. Right now, again, freezing rain to sleet to snow. So what this would do is go rain to freezing rain to sleet to snow. So it would be an Arkansas slushy at any given location with more snow, obviously, across the north. And there it goes through noon to 6 p.m. It's mostly sleet and snow across the state. And then it continues for the southern half of the state through Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. What about amounts? Now, I'm so hesitant about putting amounts on the Arkansas Weather Blog, but you know what? That's what the blog is for. Not for forecasts, but to show you the possibilities. Again, I wish I could zoom in right now with the data, but like I said, INSEP is having some issues. Oh, and you know what we're also having issues with? The fact of the matter is that my camera view here is blocking the legend. That's all right. Fixed. Do you see that? Oh, just kidding. Oh, anyway, there we go. Yeah, I'm having fun with this. Do I believe that? I think sleet. This may be sleet may cut down on these totals, but let's go to the European model. No, I want to show you the NAM. The NAM. There's the wave of low pressure. This is Wednesday morning. The front's up here, and the frozen precipitation is further towards the north. Like I said, it's much further north. There's the low at noon. Remember, the other models have it well south, the front well towards the south, but the NAM holds it up further towards the north, develops the wave of low pressure, and goes by. And the only winter precipitation is across northern Arkansas with some rain changing to sleet. So that's the difference in that. Now let's show you the European. And the European is fairly similar to the GFS. There's noon. We'll just do this on noon Wednesday. And the frontal boundary you see right in here. It's right along the Louisiana-Arkansas border. Lots of precipitation. So it's further south with that. And when you look at noon, and then you go out into the afternoon, all the way through 6 p.m., and then at night, all the way through midnight, it keeps the precipitation going. What about surface temperatures? That's at 6 a.m. You see the 32-degree line across northern Arkansas. Notice how these are called isotherms, lines of equal temperature. And notice how the gradient is just stacked up across southern Arkansas. That's the front here, and you get the temperature changing immensely over a very short distance, and that's a very tight gradient. So that's the signification of that Arctic air building in. And at noon, it's across the southern counties in the 32 degree. I mean, you're talking about temperatures near 70. According to the European, near the Louisiana border, but near Little Rock and Conway, it's 32. So it's an enormous boundary. That's at noon, and then by 6 p.m., the temperatures, most of the states, 32 degrees or colder. So it's an enormous temperature gradient coming through the state. So the European would imply as well that you would have a situation where you'd have rain changing to freezing rain, sleet, and then snow from north to south. So there you have it. After that, I'm going to show you the temperatures. Again, this is assuming snow cover and ice is on the ground. I think there's the possibility of near record low temperatures if you were to get snow and ice on the ground. 25 degrees isotherm on March the 5th across southern Arkansas. And let's see, this is at 6 p.m. on Thursday. The 32-degree line is still south. Let me go over here and refresh this and see if I can get any more. And then I want to make a point about one other thing that I don't want to scare anybody with. But okay, so this is Friday morning, and it's showing temperatures at 10 degrees or even colder across the northern half of the state. I'm not quite sure I believe that, but that would be record-breaking. And that's assuming clear skies, no wind and snow and ice on the ground. Now, with all this said, I want to make a very important point. I'm going to use this remote control. No, I'm going to use this pin here as an example. You see this pin? Pretend this is a tree branch, all right? If you were to get ice, freezing rain, this is why we don't want freezing rain. Let's say we wrap up that, you get freezing rain on this, okay? I'm going to wrap up this piece of paper. You get freezing rain to build up on it. The surface area increases. And then if you get freezing rain, it's going to weigh heavier. So you're going to collect more ice, okay? And then if you put snow on top of it, you have an increased surface area because of the ice, and you put snow on top of it. That's one concern. So that's why we don't want the freezing rain. Just a thought. You don't want to increase the surface area and then have it turn to wet snow. Hopefully, if this happens, it's just sleet and snow. I don't like the freezing rain. Thank you for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.